Please welcome to the stage my friend, your friend, Mr. Mike Sims.
All right. How's everybody doing? How the rest of y'all doing? Everybody good? First of all, before I get started, I would be remiss if I didn't say, some things about Eric Worre. Eric Worre has meant so much to me in my career in network marketing. 13 years ago, a little over 13 years ago now, I met Eric Worre when I got involved in the industry. And I'll go back to that in just a second as I tell you my background and kind of how I got here. But before network marketing, I was like everybody else. I'm from Alabama originally. My parents told me to go to school, get good grades, prepare myself for a good job. I did all those things. I was an all-A D math student because of my ADHD. I just couldn't get math. I just couldn't figure it out. No matter what they tried, I just couldn't figure it out. So anybody that's good at math, I don't like you, okay? But anyway, so went to college at Auburn University, and my goal and dream was to become a professional athlete. That's what I wanted to do. But injuries changed that for me. So that was over with. And I had to then start concentrating on what you're supposed to be going to school for, and that's to get an education. I tried several different majors while I was in college. I switched to computer engineering, and then the math courses dictated that I changed my major. I went to MIS, which is computer programming. After trying that for about a semester, my ADHD would not let me sit in front of a computer for hours upon hours programming stuff that I didn't understand, so I had to switch from that. Finally, I decided to become a business finance major, and it was a pretty good career because I always knew I wanted to be involved in something dealing with business, something around business, and be able to create and earn a lot of money. The problem with that was, though, there was no one teaching me in college how to start and build my own business. Everything they were teaching us was designed and built around how to become a great employee. And so when I finished school, I knew there was something that wasn't quite right, but I got my first job in corporate America. Now, if you're from Alabama, actually anybody from down south, you think Atlanta is the promised land, okay? Everybody down south wants to move to Atlanta, Georgia, because they think that's where the land of opportunity, everything's just great in Atlanta, about an hour and a half away from where I grew up. So I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, started playing the resume game. How many of y'all ever played the resume game before? Faxing resumes, sending resumes here and there, hoping someone calls you, hoping you get the attention of somebody who will give you an opportunity. And a very well-known financial planning firm gave me an opportunity. They said, hey, you interviewed well. We like you. All you have to do now is pass the Series 6, Series 7, and Series 63. Now, it sounds hard, doesn't it? Okay? How it sounds is nothing compared to how hard it really is. I studied for those tests, and when I went in to take the test, there was nothing that I studied for on the test, so I know that prayer is the only thing that got me through it, okay? But anyway, I passed those tests. They gave me my first job, $60,000 a year, okay? I thought I was rich. Now, I had a job in college at UPS, and they were paying me about $30,000 a year. But UPS stands for underpaid package slave, and that's what I was, okay? So I knew I couldn't stay there. But when I got that job, when they paid me $60,000 a year, I got excited about it. And, of course, I was pretty good at what I was doing. I went to number 2, number 3 in office in sales and new accounts in a very short period of time, and I really thought I had it going on until I did what most people should do, especially if you're in finance. You need to take a look at your own finances, right? You know, I was a broke financial advisor, okay? That's a major oxymoron in it, okay? Broke financial advisor, basically check to check. I looked at my personal finances and I saw, or my clients had seen my finances, they would have taken off running another direction. Bottom line, they would have taken off running somewhere else. But anyway, I looked at them, I realized I was check to check, something needed to happen. And here's how my life changed. One day on a Friday in Atlanta, Georgia, Waverly Renaissance Hotel. It was a place we went every Friday to have a cocktail to kind of unwind from the work week. And of course, if you're in finance, you're prospecting as well. You're looking for people who have signs as if they have something going on or they have some type of money so you can show them what to do with their money, right? even though you're a broke financial advisor. Anyway, there was a gentleman who walked into the room, into the bar area that night. He was very, very sharply dressed. I mean, this gentleman was sharp. He was cleaner than the health department. I mean, this guy was sharp, okay? I immediately think to myself, I've got to meet him. I've got to build a relationship with him to see how much money he has, to see what I can help him do with it, okay? So we struck a conversation. Make a long story short, it got around to, what do you do for a living? I told him I was in finance. I asked him, what did he do for a living? The gentleman told me this, and if you're ever looking for a generic definition of network marketing, here's what he said. He said, I'm involved in network marketing. I said, what is it? He said, it's a way to move a product or service through a network of people instead of using brick and mortar buildings, okay? And then he gave me an example. My mom can make a better hamburger than McDonald's. But McDonald's has the largest distribution network, therefore they can move more hamburgers than my mom ever could, no matter how good hers tastes. Does that make sense? Okay? And so he explained it to me that way, and I asked him the magic question everybody in finance wants to know. I asked him, how well is that going for you? He said, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. I said, well, try me. I'm used to dealing with money. He didn't know I didn't have any, but I'm used to dealing with everybody else's, right? So I asked him, how well is it going for you? He said, well, right now I'm earning $100,000 a month, whether I leave home or not, okay? Now, the part that got my attention was not the $100,000 a month, because my clients had that type of money. The part that really got my attention was when he said he was earning that type of money whether he left home or not. See, I knew people who had done those type of things or who had made money from home like that, whether they left home or not, but most of them ended up incarcerated, okay? He was the first person that I saw that earning that type of money that was doing it seemingly legitimately, okay? So anyway, he invited me. He said, here's what he told me, and this is something I use when I'm recruiting, okay, or prospecting. He said, I like you. And because I like you, I'm going to invite you to a seminar that I'm doing at this hotel tomorrow. And if you see something that catches your attention, talk to me afterwards. Now, at 21 years old at the time, I did what most people that are 21 years old do in Atlanta, Georgia on a Friday night. I left the bar area there and went to the bar areas in Buckhead, okay? I had a great time that night, had a lot of fun with my friends. I came home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and the gentleman had told me that seminar starts at 9 in the morning. And, of course, when you get home 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, the last thing you want to do is wake up when you don't have to go to a seminar. But something kept replaying in my head. The man said $100,000 a month, whether he left home or not, and I was just out with my friends, and I spent my cable bill, okay? That last round of drinks did it, okay? And so I've got to get up and go at least check this thing out. Went to the seminar. He didn't tell me it was going to be 12 hours long, okay? 12 hours I sat there mesmerized. Seriously, just totally mesmerized. I learned more in that 12 hours than I learned in 4.5 years at Auburn University. It just totally blew my mind. The whole concept of network marketing, how money works, all this stuff. I mean, it just called my name like, man, this is made for me. This is something that I could do. I didn't get involved with the company he was involved with because it didn't kind of line up with things that I like to do, and the product just, really didn't, something I can get passionate about. But I said to myself, I want to find a network marketing company to get involved with. And of course, I went on a search. The following Monday, my job, they made me upset. They changed the lunch schedules around because we had to be in the office at a certain time to make a certain amount of calls every day, right? And so my lunchtime originally, the days I had to be there was 11 o'clock. They changed me from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Something that gentleman said at that seminar stuck in my head. He said, if someone can tell you when to go eat and how much time you had to do it, they got too much control over your life. So that was my last day in corporate America. I walked away from corporate America with no parachute. Found a network marketing company to get involved with, and of course I was excited about it. I went to a meeting. These individuals, people walking across the stage, I said to myself, if these people can earn that type of money, I think I can too. And on top of that, I felt like I had a book of notes, an outline to show me exactly what I need to do to go out and generate this type of money. I had that training I had gone through. So I jumped full-time into network marketing day one, quit my job, craziest thing I ever did. Called my parents up. My parents were both educators. My dad was assistant superintendent of a school system. My mom was a school counselor. We did not grow up poor. We grew up what you would call middle class or upper middle class to some. And I called them up and I told them I was quitting my job to go full-time into network marketing. Now, in Alabama, anybody here from Alabama? Yeah, it's a good place to be from, isn't it? I can talk about it because I'm from there. Nobody else can. Anyway, everybody from Alabama is skeptical. I don't know if that's spread to your part of the world or country or state, but everybody is skeptical, okay? That's why we last on every list, right? Unless it's a bad list, like obesity, we number one, right? But if it's a good list, we bad on every list because everybody has a skeptical mindset. I told my parents that. My dad said, listen, I want you to come home and talk to me for a little while. And I went down 85 and sat down with my dad. And he asked me a question. He said, son, what have you gotten involved with up in Atlanta? Drugs? What's going on with you? These people are telling you, or basically selling you a dream. I tried Amway. It didn't quite work out for me. I tried all these different things. My mom said, son, I hope it works out for you because we're not going to pay your bills, okay? Those days are over with. Once you left here, you are now on your own, right? But here's what the gentleman said at that first seminar that stuck in my mind. He said, if you buy other people's opinions, you buy their lifestyle. Life is something everybody has. Style is the way you get to live it. See, I didn't grow up poor. There was nothing wrong with the life my parents provided. It's the style part I didn't like, okay? They had been on their jobs 28 to 30 years. That was not in my DNA makeup, okay? I didn't get that, right? There's no way I could be on somebody else's job for 28 to 30 years knowing what I had been through in corporate America. In a few months, I was already there. So I couldn't listen to my parents. I said, I appreciate your support, but I'm going to prove you wrong on this one. Got started in network marketing, 1 month into the business, had basically zero check, and because I thought home base meant homebound, meaning I didn't have to go nowhere. Like people would just come to my house and sign up. It didn't work like that, right? It was, And so here's the really bad part. When I almost went back to corporate America, I didn't have any money saved up. As a financial advisor, you teach finance, you teach investing. I had money invested, but of course, if you know what happens when you take money out of investments. You got front-end charges, back-end charges, taxes. Basically, you pull your money out, you got little or nothing left, right? So I decided not to even touch that money, but to go out and still try to make the business work. So I had a diet every day of Happy Meals, okay? I ate Happy Meals every day. My brother then moved to Atlanta with me. He had quit college, moved to Atlanta with me. Most of you haven't seen my brother before. I'm 6'5", about 263. My younger brother is 6'5", about 310, just rock solid, okay? He moved to Atlanta, Georgia with me with no job, so we were both eating Happy Meals every day. Seriously, imagine going through the drive-thru, 2 people our size. And the people in the drive-thru window are looking like, where are the kids? Did y'all eat the kids? I mean, they're wondering what's going on. My brother even got sophisticated with it. He wanted to pick his toy, right? It's crazy. Anyway, it was a struggle, real struggle, right? Real struggle. My sponsor came down and did a meeting for me. I'll be honest with you. I know this on camera, but I'll say it anyway. I said it myself, if I got to depend on this to build a business, I'm in trouble, okay? He was kind of new, didn't know what was going on, and so I had to figure out how to do this business. That's when Eric Warrior appeared. We all heard the statement, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. Eric Warrior appeared, and I was able to plug into his training and the simplicity, and while everybody else, there are a few people that were in my upline at the time because we were very close to the #1 guy in the whole company who had been there since Methuselah. So, you don't get that much help, this is the way it is. But Eric Warrior had been there, Eric Warrior paid attention to me, okay? He paid attention to me, he paid attention to the group, and here's what he said. He said, Mike, if you do these things, you're going to be successful. He didn't know I was thinking in my mind that I didn't have a choice whether to do these things. There's something called eating that's becoming more and more important every day, okay? I've got to make this thing happen, and there was no question about it. after a meeting one day, he came down to Alabama. I started building a big group there. He came down to Alabama. He said, you're going to be a rock star one day in this industry of network marketing. And I said, wow, I am? So what I did was I went home and I wrote this down. So I want everybody to write this down too. I wrote this down on paper. Mike Sims is one of the best teachers and trainers in the industry of network marketing today. Now, I ask you to write that down for two reasons. I want you to do it too when you get home, but of course, substitute your name. But I also wanted you to write that down because now it puts pressure on me to make that statement true tonight, okay? Because I want to give you some information tonight that will help you build your business just like Eric gave me. I'll tell you the rest of the story. Within month 6 involved in that company, I hit $10,000 a month in income. Incredible ride. The second year, earned a six-figure ring in that company. I was excited about that. Actually, rewind. The third month I was involved, my parents called me, and they said, you hadn't come to us to ask us for any money. I said, no, because things are going pretty good now. I met some mentors that are showing me how to do this business, and they started to pay attention. 3 months after that, on that 6th month, when I earned 10 grand, my parents had started getting some significant traction. They started building the business too that they told me didn't work. They both retired from their jobs and went full time into network marketing. Yeah, seriously. It's a good thing to be to work with your parents. My parents are now, my dad will be 63 in January. My mom will be 63 in April. They have not worked a job in the last 13 years because of network marketing, okay? Phenomenal, phenomenal story. Created a lot of success in that company, and then, of course, some things changed, with me and in the company. Some things, that just didn't fit with me anymore, and so I made a decision that I was going to walk away from that company, that income. Well, I didn't know I was going to walk away from the income. They kind of took that. But anyway, bam. Anyway, it just kind of it went away. Anyway, I took some time off, got back up with Eric again, and under his mentorship, helped me make a mental transition from going into services and thinking about product, and just being around Eric and some other individuals in the industry over a 6-month period of time kind of prepared me for what I was really looking for, which is a home in the industry. And so I've been with the company I've been involved with now for the last 6.5 years, and it's been an incredible ride. The thing I'm most proud of is the amount of people in the organization who are earning 7 figures and 6-figure incomes. It's not about me, it's about them. And everyone in here can achieve that same success as soon as you decide to. And we'll touch on that in just a second. But that's my story, that's my background. I'm 35 years old now. 35. Grown up in network marketing. Best way to live. Absolutely. Best way to live. So let's get into some training real quick here. I've got here we go. That guy is very sharp. Anyway, those are a couple of the rings. I mean, of course, you see the rings and you get to, it's a good thing to look at because you see the progression as far as income. And I was excited about that. I'm a single guy. I don't have any children. These are my children, okay? This is my lifestyle. The lifestyle that network marketing can provide. I now have a home. I always said I wanted to have a home with an elevator in it. I got a house with an elevator in it. I've got a huge closet to house my 80-some-odd suits that I wear. And I'm going to touch on finance in a second, too, because I don't spend a dime on network marketing money now because of decisions I made to do with the money. I'll talk on that in a second. But anyway, these are my children. So when I come home, I go to the garage and I greet them and let them know that I'm now back home, okay? So I'll have kids one day, hopefully. So that's the Maserati, the S63 Benz, the Hummer. I show people these things to let you know that it's possible for you. Because I got started one day as well, and you're getting started in this journey, and everything that's happened for me, everything that's happened for other people can also happen for you, okay? So let's talk about a very, very serious topic here. A slump, okay, versus a streak. Who in here has ever been in a slump before? Everybody in here has. At one point in your career, you've been in a slump before. Now, I'll tell you, I try to be funny on stage and kind of entertain as well, but now I'm going to switch into my other personality. Because when it comes down to training, I just don't play. because this is business, and when you're at the front of the room, there are people that are hanging on every word, looking or listening for something to help them change their life. And so I'll tell you right up front, the things that Eric Worre has already talked about today, if you do them, as I have done them and other people have done them as well, you will get to 6- and 7-figure incomes. If you don't, you won't. I'll just tell you that. Plain, blunt, there is no way to sugarcoat it. You will not be successful if you don't do these things. So one of the key things I've learned in life, though, is, of course, when we get into a slump, when we have something that's going or not going right in our life, you can't fix it unless you figure out how it happened, okay? You can't fix something that you don't understand. For instance, in my math classes, when I went to the tutors, they could see that I was failing the tests. So what they tried to work on with me is, what am I not understanding that's causing me to fail the test? I'll give you 4 things real quickly you got to do to help you solve any issue in this business and also any issue in life. The first thing you got to do is you got to trace it, okay? You got to trace it back to the source. Figure out where it's coming from. Why is this happening to me? You got to trace it. The second thing you got to do is you got to face it. You got to face it, okay? You got to face it head on. You can't put blinders on. Here's what most people do in life. They edit their reality. When you're watching a movie, all you see is the finished product, right? You don't see everything else they edited out. That's what most people do with their lives. There are things that are not right, but they're editing these things out as if they don't exist, or they keep them in because their neighbors are going through the same thing. So one of the things I stopped doing was I stopped editing my reality. And as Eric talked about earlier, reality is reality. The reality is I was broke. There's no other way to sugarcoat it, okay? My money was circulating. It just wasn't coming back to me fast enough, okay? So what we got so far? You got to what? Trace it. You got to face it, okay? The next thing you got to do is you got to erase it. Erase it totally. If you're in a bad relationship, you just can't say, I'm going to face it. You got to erase it. You can't just keep hanging around in it. If something is going on or not going right in your business, you got to erase that as well. Stop doing it. Stop wanting what you don't want. And the last thing you got to do is you got to replace it. You got to replace it with the right activities, the right philosophies, the right thoughts, the right mindsets, attitudes. You have to do those 4 things in order to move forward in anything in life, and especially in this business. So how did we get into a slump, okay? I broke the word slump down into a couple things here. Of course, we know the definition of a slump is, the lean, fall, whatever, be off track. That's what I call it. Now, here's a couple reasons. The S for slump. The S in slump. Skepticism. Skepticism. If you start to become skeptical about your company, your opportunity, or yourself, you will fall into a slump. Bottom line, hands down, you'll be in a slump. Listening to the negative voice on your shoulder. I remember building my business in this industry, and there's a voice that says, hey, you could be successful. They're the Eric Worres that are telling you you could be successful. They're the Malots telling you could be successful. There are Pat Andersons, the Hollis in the back. There are all these people telling you that you can be successful. Then there's another voice telling you, I'm not sure you can be successful. I had to learn to constantly kill that voice. And here's what I tell you, it never goes away. When I got to 10 grand a month, I was excited. But then the voice on my shoulder said, yeah, you're 10, but I don't know if you're going to get to 20. Okay? When you get to 40 grand a month, yeah, I was excited. But I don't know if you can get to 80. Okay? That voice never goes away, but successful people learn how to kill skepticism, listening to skeptical people. My organization, they know me pretty well. They know my personality. They don't even come to me with anything that's skeptical anymore. If it's not positive, they know I don't want to hear it, okay? That's the type of standard that you have to set in your organization, that we don't have time for skepticism. Now, here's the thing. It's good to be skeptical sometimes. Here's what I mean. If someone tells you to bet $1,000 on one of these games, I don't gamble, so I can't tell you the name of them. But if someone says, put $1,000 down on one of these tables, and if you just roll this way, you're going to get $1 million, you should be skeptical of what they say, right? But see, here's when skepticism turns into ignorance. When your company parades success story after success story after success story across the stage, ring earner after ring earner after ring earner across the stage, and you're still skeptical, that's no longer skepticism, that's ignorance of the facts, okay? So don't let skepticism kill you in this business. Skepticism will immediately put you into a slump. The L in slump, laziness. The #1 selling chair in America is called a lazy boy. Okay? There's no cure for laziness. Absolutely no cure for laziness. Sometimes in your company, you're not advancing fast enough, or we're not going where we want to go simply because there are other people outworking you. You're getting outworked. They're doing more because they want it better, okay? Then, of course, labor. Write this down. Labor is necessary to produce new life. Now, the reason I do network marketing and I do what I call 90-day blasts of all-out massive action is because I know it's going to last only for 90 days, and I know the result is going to be new life, new business, which leads to new life, new lifestyle, all that kind of stuff, right? The reason why a female that wants to have a child, she knows that there's a 9-month period where she has to carry that child, and then she knows that she's going to have to go through what? Labor pain. But she knows that labor pain is necessary for her to produce what? New life. The same thing with us in this business. There has to be labor. You're going to have to work in order to get out of a slump or to stay out of a slump. And of course, if you really want a new life in this business, there's no way in the world you can skip the labor part. Everybody got that, okay? So the L in slump is laziness, and of course, there's no cure for it. Nobody can motivate you out of it. You just got to get to work and get off our butts and go to work. Okay, now, undecided. Undecided is that you will get into a slump if you can't make a decision. You'll never go to the top if you don't decide to go to the top. The question is, how bad do you want it? Here's another thing. You know the main reason why, because I'll just say the diamond position, because from what I know, most companies, their top position started like diamond or something like that. Then they go from, diamond and up, right? Now, here's the thing. The reason why most people probably aren't a diamond in their company right now is very, very simple. Because you don't know how good it feels to be one. If you knew how good it felt to be a diamond in your company, you'd already be there. You'd already be there. The reason why you're not is probably because you haven't decided to do it yet. They wake up when you get tired of sleeping. They go on vacation twice a month and work while you're on vacation. To drive what you want to drive. One of the things that motivated me in this industry more than anything is what I could do for my parents. I used to get tired of sending my parents a card every year for their anniversary. 2.5 years ago, I sent them both brand new cars for their anniversary, okay? Those are the things that motivated me in the business, okay? The reason why, though, is because decisions I made. Here are a couple decisions that you're going to have to make. You're going to have to decide what you want. I hope you know that already. I hope you have written down on paper what you want this business to do for you. If you have not written that down, it can't happen. Does everybody understand that? You have to write it down. It has to be crystal clear on paper. Now we got all these fancy iPods and iPads, and we got all these different Kindles and Wendell and everybody else, right? All these different things we can write on. See, I just, from my personal standpoint, it's got to be pen to paper. There's something there's nothing better than pen to paper to me to get something firmly entrenched in your mind as something that can help you build your business or goal that you need to stick to, okay? So pen to paper and put it in front of you everywhere that you can. Decide who you need to associate with. Get around the successful people. Mr. Warrior already talked about this morning, the power of association. You are the average of the 5 people that you associate with. You want to be the lowest person in that group so they pull you up. But every day you got to decide, who am I going to associate with today in my company to help me go to the next level? Now, I'm not talking about calling your upline and say, hey, can I spend some time with you today? Okay? We're talking about associating with them through conference calls, not missing events, being around them as much as you possibly can, associating with people through books and audios and things of that nature. But you have to decide who you're going to associate with, and of course, you got to decide what you're willing to sacrifice. Write this down. Someone has to sacrifice so other people don't have to. My first couple of years in the company I'm involved with now, I don't know how many Sky Miles I accumulated. I don't know how many hotels I stayed in, but every time I went to a Marriott, they were excited to see me because of the points, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I sacrificed a lot, okay? A lot of my personal time because I knew that I had a goal and, of course, a passion for helping other people. But see, here's the thing. When I decide to have a family, they're not going to have to sacrifice certain things. Because see, here's what I'm saying. You know, I can't imagine having children and them saying, hey, Dad, Mom, I need this for school, or I want to go here because it'll help me better my education, or I want to go on this vacation because it looks fun, and having to tell them we can't afford it, okay? That's why I make the sacrifices that I do so other people don't have to. Does that make sense? Somebody else got to go first so other people don't have to sacrifice. So you got to decide. Now, here's what I mean by sacrifice. I don't want you to sacrifice your whole family. I've seen people lose their family because they make their own sacrifices, okay? I don't want you to sacrifice your time with your religious activities. That's important too. You must have some type of connection there to be successful in anything. But everything else, I sacrificed cable TV. I don't know what's going on television. The reality TV shows and things of that nature, no. You watching people on TV live out their dreams and yours are going down the tubes, literally, okay? So quit wasting time and sacrifice time away from those things or you will be in a slump. Let's go to the next one. Now, misdirected. Misdirected, not following directions. There are no new mistakes in network marketing. No new mistakes. There are old people making the same old mistakes and new people watching the old people make mistakes and then they make them too. No new mistakes. Take direction from people who know what they're doing. It's amazing to me how many people listen to other people that haven't had success. I remember Eric Ward saying this years ago, and this was a very, very powerful statement. He said, Mike, and actually he was telling a large group, but I just think he's talking to me. He said, Mike, no one cares what you have to say until your check dictates they listen to you. So we don't need your ideas. Follow this idea. These ideas work. So why are you going to listen to the thumb suckers on the team and take their advice? You'll be misdirected, and pretty soon you'll be out of the business because you're taking direction from the wrong people. So don't be misdirected in this business. You will be in a slump. And here's another key thing. The word leader is used so loosely in this industry. You know, a leader is someone who is doing everything it takes to be successful. That's what a leader is. Someone who's doing everything that it takes to be successful. Now, here's what I know. One of my mentors a couple years ago, 2 years ago, no, a little longer than that, 2.5, 3 years ago, he said, Mike, how things going for you? I said, I'm rocking and rolling, man. Everything is going great. I'm at a six-figure income at the time, multiple six-figure income. And he says, here's what I know, Mike, because I've been where you are. And he's working on his 60th million in the industry. He said, here's what I know, because I've been where you are. You're earning a six-figure income, but you're still not doing everything it takes to be successful. He says, watch what happens to your income when you start. I said, wow, how did he know? How did he know there were some things I wasn't doing? Okay? He said something very, very key. He said, don't practice what you preach only what you practice. Preach only what you practice every single day. That's what true leadership is all about. That's how you stop from being misdirected. As soon as I did that, at a six-figure income, my income skyrocketed because he was telling the truth. Now, nobody here knows what you do every day, but it manifests itself in the results. So quit skipping out on yourself or fooling yourself. That's what you're doing. You're not fooling everybody else. We know, okay? So make sure that you take direction from the right people, and of course, don't misuse the word leader. Here's another thing. Your first day in your company starts the day you start doing everything right. Right now, if you're not doing everything it takes to be successful, you're just in. You just signed the paperwork. You're not working the business yet. So when you go home, you can say, hey, it's day one. I'm just getting started. Because this will be, when we leave here, we'll make a pledge that we're going to do everything it takes to be successful. That's when you're now in business. Everybody agree with that? Okay? That's when the business is started for us. So understand, some people, they're in, but they're not in. Okay? Get in the business and start doing everything it takes to be successful. Let's move right along here. Misdirected, okay? P, in slump, poor attitude. This will put you into a slump every time. There's also no cure for a poor attitude. It will kill your business every single time. It'll kill your business. How many of y'all know people that are up and down every other day? Okay? But see, here's what happens. Successful people, here's the truth, the reality. Successful people have ups and downs every day too. But see, what we do is we just throw our hands in the air, act like we're on a roller coaster, and just hold on for the ride. That's what we do. We just put our hands in the air, and when things are going up, we got our hands in the air. When things are going down, whoa, we just in for the ride. But we keep going through, and we keep an even plane at all times. The last statement on here is very, very powerful. Become a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer, it changes in the environment you take it in. If you take a thermometer and the temperature is 60, it's going to read 60. If you take a thermometer to an environment and it's 80, it's going to read 80. Does that describe your attitude? When things are going right, that's what you do. You're happy, you're excited. When things are going wrong, you go down to 0, okay? But a person that's a thermostat, they control the temperature in the room wherever they are. They control their environment irrespective of what else is going on. As a matter of fact, when I'm doing meetings at hotels and things of that nature, when you go into these hotel rooms, they normally have a lock and key on the thermometer box. And then they have a little note on there, if you want to get in here, you need to go see the front desk. Because that's how important it is, because there are some people in here who are very, very cold natured, and they'll have the thermostat set to 80. It'll kill some of us, right? And then there's some people who are very, very hot natured, and they want to set the thermostat to 65. It'll freeze a lot of people. The key thing is the hotel has set the thermostat where it's conducive, or creates the environment where it's conducive to most everyone, that we can all survive. The same thing with your business. Your attitude you have to protect your attitude like that thermostat. You can't let anyone else change your thermostat. You have to put a lock and key on it, just like they do at a hotel, because it's that important to your overall success in the business. So make sure that you don't have a thermometer mindset where you're just kind of blowing with the wind. So that's a slump. If we do these things, then we'll be in a slump. If we're misdirected, if we got a poor attitude, if we don't pay attention and follow the leadership, if we're lazy, if we're skeptical, then we'll be in a slump. You'll stay in a slump. Now, how do we get out of a slump? Let's go to the next slide here. How do we get out of a slump? Streak. How to streak out of a slump. We know what a streak is, comments and things of that nature, streak. Here's how you streak. The S in streak. Set goals. Set some goals. And give yourself a timeline and a deadline. See, I have to do this because I am the best procrastinator in the world today. I have perfected procrastination. So everything I do has to be structured around a game plan and a timeline. And if I get off track, I'm messed up for the rest of the day. Okay? That's why I'm so strict on what I do and when I do it, because I know what area I'm weak in. So the same thing. That's why same thing for you. That's why goal setting is so important. And then, of course, creating a deadline as well. Don't just say you're going to be a diamond a year from now. What daily goals are you going to set, which lead to your weekly accomplishments, which lead to your monthly accomplishments, which lead to the what? The goal at the end of the year. If not, you'll just be meandering around in this business, and you'll never, ever, ever accomplish what you're looking to accomplish if you don't have goals set. Have a game plan. A game plan. We all know the statement about a plan. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. We all know this old statement. Here's something that kind of is comical to me sometimes, though. How many of y'all have had a distributor in your organization? They'll call you up and they say, I need a game plan. And they've been involved for 3 months, 3 years, and you've already done a game plan with them. Okay? That happened to me recently. And you all know me. I don't sugarcoat much. And I love text messaging, so because you can answer the calls that need to be answered, and the rest of them you can send it a text, right? And then we'll get around to you, right? So here's the thing: He sends me a text. He calls me a couple times, sends me a text, calls, text. Finally, I answer the phone. He says, I need a game plan. I said, great, call me at 10 o'clock. We're going to do his game plan. He's all excited about it. I can tell when we got off the phone. 10 o'clock, he calls right on the dot. I'm going to wait for him. I said, here's the game plan. Write this down. I said, the game plan that you need to follow is the game plan we set 3 years ago. Try that one first. Then we'll come back with another one, okay? If you try that game plan and it doesn't work, because you know you hadn't tried it, right? Try that one, and then we'll work on another one. Because there will be a different game plan once you're a diamond, right? And so don't game plan yourself or let other people in your organization dictate your time by game planning over and over and over again. Let's stick to the first plan. Everybody got that, okay? Now, let's go to the next slide here. We've got set goals, teachable. Become teachable and coachable, very, very self-explanatory. You have, when you're looking to streak, when you're looking to break to the next level, you have to have teachers and you have to have coaches and mentors that can guide you in the right direction. So you have to be teachable and coachable. If you ever think you know it all, that's when you're on your way out of business. One of the most beautiful things in this room right now is I look around the room and see friends of mine that are earning 6 and 7 figures. I was sitting beside Pat Anderson, and Eric Ward says, are you a professional or amateur? She's a 7-figure-a-year earner. She said, I'm an amateur still writing notes, because she's still staying teachable and coachable, okay? You never know it all in this business. So stay teachable and coachable, especially if you're looking to get out of a slump. That's why these events are important, and more importantly, it's so important to get your organization to these events as well, so they can learn and get the information just like you got it, okay? Now, that's teachable. The R is recommit. Recommit to your why. Recommit to following the system. If you don't follow the system, you will not be successful in this industry. As a matter of fact, if you have committed to not doing the system, Monday morning, go to your boss and say, I'll be here for a while. What more can I do here? Because I refuse to follow the system that can help me get out of here. That might jar, it might jar your memory or your mind to say, hey, this is not really what I really want to do. It might help you. But that's the reality of it. See, here's what I figured out in this business too. This business is not logical, it's emotional. You got to do things that affect you from an emotional standpoint, because logic tells you to follow the system. But you got to connect that logic to something that's emotional. I'll give you an example. I just recently helped a young lady quit smoking. Okay? She had tried everything. All kind of stuff she tried. She said, Mike, I just can't do it. She got a young son, 3 years old. She said, I can't do it. I said, well, you can't do it. I mean, the package says, what is this doing to you? There are commercials now on television with people with holes in their throat telling you what this will do to you over a period of time. So I'm not understanding. Then I thought to myself, it's emotional. People do things because of how they make them feel. So I said, okay, let me try a different approach to see if I can help her stop smoking. I said, here's what you do. I said, is your son important to you? She said, yes, he is. I said, well, here's what you try. I said, go, when you get home, take a pack of cigarettes, and you sit down with your son, and you tell your son, I love you, but I love these cigarettes. These cigarettes are taking years off my life and possibly yours from secondhand smoke, because I love them, I love you, but I love these just a little bit more because I just won't quit. She went home and tried that. She said, Mike, I couldn't even get through the whole sentence. She hadn't had a cigarette now in over 6 months, okay? The reason why is everything in life is emotional, not logical, okay? So in this business, the same thing is, of course, following the system, recommitting to your why. Attach these things to something that stir your emotion, and you'll be successful. Personal growth and development. I remember Eric Ward telling me years ago, Mike, if you don't do personal growth and development, you will make no money in this business. That's all I need to hear, especially because I didn't have any. I already knew what that felt like. It wasn't good. So when he made that statement, that's all I need to hear. Now, there are some people in this industry I found that are doing all the activities, but they have not yet understood the importance of personal growth and development. They just refuse to read. And I understand that because all the way through high school, all the way through college, I never read a whole book. I bought Cliff Notes. I didn't read them either. But when Eric Warrior told me that, and he said, if you don't do this, then you won't get this, that's all I need to hear. And so when I started reading, everything in my life started to change. See, remember, the most important part of a car is the part that's missing. Okay? That's the most important part. So the same thing in your business. The most important thing in your business is what you're not doing. It's what you're not doing. So recommit to personal development and, of course, recommit to working with your team. Get excited to get out of a slump. Get excited about the business. Reinvigorate about the business. Don't just bore people with words. Remember, people buy your music, not your words. Communication in this business is more body language and tone and less words. More body language and tone. If you look at some of the people who built mega churches, okay, people can get up and just talk about the Bible and the scriptures and things of that nature, but the people who build and draw big crowds are the individuals who are excited and make things come to life. There are some people right now that may not join your business because you are boring. There are some people who may not join your business because they perceive you are too weak to lead them. Because we're talking too much with our words and we have no posture. Our body language does not speak confidence. Our tone speaks afraid. And so people just don't join us. And so get your posture up, get excited, and of course that'll help you get out of a slump. And then of course staying excited about your business will help as well. Activity, the A in streak, activity. Very, very powerful statement here. When things are going good, do more activity. One of my mentors told me once I got to $20,000 a month in this industry, he said, Mike, you're at the most dangerous place in your career. I said, no, it was dangerous when I had $500 a month. That was dangerous. He said, no. He said, what most people do at 20 grand a month is they get complacent and it rewinds on them. Your money runs back to meet you. It runs back to meet your activity. You think you made it. You haven't made it in this business until you got people in your organization throughout your structure that are earning too much money to quit. That's when you made it, okay? I was not there yet, but I was at $20,000 a month. He said, don't get comfortable here. Make sure that you're doing more activity now than you did when you got started. Now, back to the statement. When things are going bad for you, do more activity. Here's what I found. The people who having all kind of bad stuff happen to them are the ones that are not doing any activity because they notice it all. They notice everything bad. All they have time to do is sit at home and think about how bad everything is. They start dissecting the company. Then it moves from dissecting the company and blaming the company. Then they start blaming the upline. The next step is blaming the comp plan. There's no such thing as a bad comp plan if you pump enough volume through it. That's my philosophy, okay? So they blame the comp plan. The fourth stage is they out of the deal. They blame the company, they blame the upline, they start blaming the comp plan, now they out of the deal, okay? Do more activity if things are not going right for you, but do it the right way. Start analyzing how you're doing the activity and watch what happens for you. And this weekend, we're learning how to do the activities right. I just wish and hope that everyone in here takes in all this information as I did. Everything in network marketing, or my experience in network marketing, for the most part, 90% of it has just been phenomenal because I chose to do exactly what the people at the top were telling me to do. Some of the things that some people go through or grow through, I skipped those things. Eric Warrior had to rebuild his team 7 times, so I don't have to. So why would I listen to him and take his advice so I don't have to rebuild mine, or I can just do it once? Does that make sense? Because see, I'm lazy. Or the statement goes, I'm temporarily ambitious so I can be permanently lazy, right? And so, you don't want to have to do this all over again. What's the last slide we got here? A in activity, and then of course the K is keep focus. And of course you got a picture up here of me doing one of the things I love to do in my spare time is I love to drive race cars, NASCAR. And, man, it's an exhilarating experience. The first time I did it, it was crazy because they told me that, Mike, you can go into a curve, the car can handle it at 160 miles an hour. But, you know, it's something in my mind says that don't make sense. But once I started doing it, it started to become more and more fun. But the reason I got this up here about keep focus, when you get into that car, okay, you strap the helmet on. You can't move your head from side to side. You got to stay focused. You can't see what's going on around you. That's why you have to depend on your upline, which is the spotters that are up top. They can see everything. They're talking in your ear, and they're telling you when someone is beside you, when it's safe to pass, when you're coming up on the wall, when you're going too fast. They're telling you everything that you need to know. The same thing with your sponsor and your upline in the company. And Eric Ward here this weekend, he's telling us in our ear everything we need to know. But see, in that race car, if you get off focus, you are going to hit somebody else. If you don't listen to the upline or the spotters, you're going to have an accident. You're going to hit the wall, okay? The key thing is to keep focus on what the successful people are telling us to do. And then, of course, you'll have that success as well, and you won't hit anyone else. You won't hit a wall in your network marketing business. Does everybody understand the power of that, okay? I'm going to end with two things really quickly here. Two things really quickly. Number one is a poem. If you had a magic carpet that could take you anywhere you want to go, it could take you to places you've never been before, would you buy some drapes to match it and place it on the floor? Or would you let that carpet take you to places that you've never gone before? See, ladies and gentlemen, we've got that carpet. Network marketing, this industry, is the carpet that can take you to places that you've never gone before. The question is, are you just buying drapes to match it and place it on the floor, or are you allowing this carpet to take you to where you've never gone before? It's happened for me. It's happened for a lot of people in this room. It'll happen for you as well. The last thing I'll tell you really, really quickly is the questions I ask myself every single day. How I start my day. I also sometimes I finish my night with this, okay? Finish my night. I call it start strong, finish strong, by asking yourself questions, okay? The first question you need to ask yourself every day is, what is your why? What is your why? Revisit it every single day. It'll keep you out of a slump if that why is strong enough. What is your why? The second question you got to ask yourself is, what is my IQ level? Now, I'm not talking about IQ as far as smarts, because I'll be disqualified. IQ means, what is your I quit level? What will cause you to quit this business? Write it down on paper. Now, the trick is, if you got an answer to number 2, you need to go back to number 1 because it's not strong enough. Because, see, nothing, no person, no circumstance, no issue will ever cause me to quit this industry because of what it's done for myself and my family and the opportunity to affect the lives of thousands upon thousands of people. And so I encourage you to get an answer to that question. The third question you got to ask yourself, we touched on this one already. Who am I going to associate with today that's going to help me accomplish my goals? Who am I going to associate with today that's going to help me? Fourth question you got to ask yourself. Fourth question is, what am I willing to sacrifice today? I had a young lady come to one of my events one time, and just a couple months ago, and everybody was surprised that she was there to receive her recognition because she had talked about it being her son's first birthday. She said, somebody asked her, well, why are you here? It's your son's first birthday. She said, he's turning 1. She said, he don't know if his birthday is today or tomorrow. We can celebrate it every day, right? She sacrificed something that most people put up on a tremendous pedestal that's not that big a deal right now. Think about what she can do for her son now that she's taking care of handling business. Everybody understand that? So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? That's question number what, 4? Here's the last and powerful question, and then I'm done. Last question. This is huge for me. Who is counting on you to make this happen? Who is counting on you? When I think about family members of mine who were counting on me to put myself in a position financially to be able to help other people in the family, it keeps me going in this business. There are people right now that are not involved in your organization that you don't even know yet that are praying for you not to quit. So you can introduce someone that introduces someone that introduces someone who introduces them, and the product, services, or business changes their life. They're counting on you not to quit. It's not all about you. So who is counting on you? If you ask yourself those 5 questions every single day, watch what happens to your life. Watch what happens to your business. My name is Mike Sims. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to be able to share with you this evening. See you over the top.